skills on the platform. What's up, YouTube? Back with another one. I actually have a lesson today for the people. Today's topic is the 7 deadly sins. I'm going to go over the meaning. I'm also going to throw in a couple of verses from the scriptures that actually backs up a lot of things I'm getting ready to say. So that way we can understand what's going on in these times. All right, so this may take a little time, but I'm hopefully to get through this as quick as possible. Now, the 7 deadly sins. Number 1 is lust. Number 2, gluttony. Number 3, greed. Number 4, sloth. Number 5, wrath. Number 6, envy. And last but not least, number 7, is pride. So I'm going to break down each one. I have some notes here that I took down. This is not something that I was going off top of the head because Spirit just moved me to do this particular lesson for today. It's needed during these times. So let me just revise that for you real quick for those that are just coming in. I'm going over the 7 deadly sins: lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. These are what's called the 7 deadly sins. We see folks are dying on a consistent basis from the lack of knowledge. Scriptures teach that my people perish from the lack of knowledge. So it's from people not knowing things, but most people know these things, but they continue to engage in these type of activities knowing that it's not beneficial to their spiritual health. Now, we got to understand that there's a balance that we must have in our life to be able to accomplish certain things. If we don't have that balance in place, we're not going to be able to accomplish things in our lifetime to be successful. And then we wonder why things are not going the way they're supposed to be, is because there are a lot of things that are not being done correctly. So let's get into it. Let's start off with lust. Now, definition of lust is a strong passion or longing, especially for sexual desire. I'm going to repeat that. Lust is a strong passion or longing, especially for sexual desire. Now, the scriptures speak about lust in 2 Timothy 2:22. It says, "Flee also youthful lusts, but pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace." Bible also mentions lust in the following verses. Now, chastity or self-control cures lust by controlling passion and leveraging that energy for the good of others. That means control, people. We must have control. There's nothing wrong with having sexual encounter but it has to be done in a proper manner. It's not proper to be running around and trying to sleep with everything in sight because it looks good, it looks tempting. But we're going to get a little bit further into that into this video. Now, in Matthew 5:28 states, "But I say unto you that whoever looketh upon a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." Adultery is a voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and a person who is not his or her spouse. So we know that back in the days that when you slept with someone, they would be considered your spouse. Simple as that. There doesn't have to be any type of wedding or marriage. That actually started happening later down the road, um, during later in time. But earlier in the early years in the BC era, the early AD eras, people would get together, have sexual intercourse, and they would be considered husband and wife. Now, if you're running around, you're sleeping with many people, 9 times out of 10, you're sleeping with someone's husband or someone's wife, which is a no no. That's part of the deadly sins. Lust. If you are with someone and you're not getting that so-called pleasure or that satisfaction, then what really boils down to is you need to really evaluate yourself and the reason why you're not being satisfied. Because when it's all said and done, it's a feeling that lasts a moment in time. And people seek to capture that feeling over and over and over again. When does it stop? When do you get tired of that? Once you get to an old age and then you become useless to others, doesn't make any sense. You got to control yourself. We're not made to just run around and just sleep with anything and anyone in sight. That sexual encounter is sacred. At least it's supposed to be sacred. People don't honor that anymore as sacred. It's just a thing to do now. But society has bred it into the minds of people that it's okay to just run around and just sleep around with anybody and anyone you want because you feel like it. Anyone can feel like doing something. That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. People could feel like running amok and running around and just killing everything in sight. Does it make it right? No, it doesn't. People can run around and just try to steal other people's things. Does it make it right? No, it's not. Just like it's not right for people to run around and try to sleep with everything in sight just because it looks good. That's not right either. It's something that you need to check within yourself. You got to get your spiritual life in order. Also, it says in James 1:13 through 15, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So is it worth you running around trying to just sleep around and be with anybody you want because you feel like it? Because it brings death in many different ways. If you're running around sleeping with multiple people, you don't know what that other person may have. They may have a deadly disease. That's just one way to look at it. Just because they look good in the flesh, that doesn't mean that they're actually good. That person could be a walking disease waiting to happen. Next thing you know, you sleep with them and then you wonder why me, is because you couldn't control yourself. You couldn't control your sexual desires is the reason why you got yourself caught up with someone who was disease ridden, and they passed it on to you, not really caring about themselves. So if someone doesn't care about themselves, how can they care about someone else? It's impossible. It's impossible to care for others if you don't care for yourself. You're a danger to society and everyone around you. Knowing that you have something and you're spreading it to others because you're trying to catch a feeling will get yourself hurt and other people hurt. Two, you run around doing these kind of things, and if somebody catches wind of what you're doing, they're liable to get real angry and take you out. That's another way you can destroy yourself. And then three, a spouse that finds out that their spouse stepping out on them with someone else, that spouse is liable to take you out of complete jealousy because that partner was theirs, but you decided to get involved with them, even though it was wrong for the person to get involved with the other person, knowing that they have a spouse at home. They may not look at it that way. They may not look at their spouse as wrong. They may look at you, the one that made the mistake, and you're the one that's up with their spouse. So they're going to be angry at you. They might not even be angry at their own spouse. They'll turn around and do some harm to you and come back and kiss their spouse in the mouth like nothing happened. Now you look foolish because once again, you couldn't control yourself. You didn't use your mind to understand certain things like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. Forbidden fruit. It's tempting, but you have to have control over yourself. They don't belong to you. That's not your spouse. We're talking about the seven deadly sins, and we're still on lust right now. Also, First Peter says 2:11, dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul. So once again, you're warring against your own soul. What is it going to profit you to run around and sleep with and say that, oh, I slept with this many people over my lifetime, but what profit do you get from it? Did you profit from each activity? But do you have something to show for it? Most cases, no. All you can say is, yeah, I was with this person, I was with that person. You didn't even get anything out of it. You got a fleeting feeling moment that lasted for a moment, and you probably got a memory from it. That's it. What kind of profit did you get from that? Nothing. Also in Joshua 2:16 says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not the Father, but is of the world. 17 says, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. So you run around doing that, you sure enough gonna pass away. Some way, shape, or form. Somebody's gonna take you out, you're gonna take yourself out, diseases, you destroying your own soul for 5 minutes of pleasure, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, an hour of so-called pleasure. It's an illusion. You think you're being pleased because the dopamine in your body during the activity is actually feeding your brain and makes you think that you're having you're going through some type of ecstasy. or it feels good. But feelings will get you hurt. Feelings will get you killed. Let's move on. Number two, gluttony is an excessive and ongoing eating of food and drink. Excessive ongoing eating of food and drink. We see that a lot. We see a lot of people that are overweight. They're not controlling themselves. They're not exercising. Once again, it goes into control. Everything ties in. All the seven deadly sins, they tie in with one another. First Corinthians 10 and 31 says, therefore, whether you eat or drink, or whether you do or do all to live the glory of God. Proverbs 23 and 19 says to 19, hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thy heart in the way. Be not among wine bibbers, and among righteous eaters of flesh. For the drunkards and the glutton shall come to poverty, and the drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Eating yourself out of house and home, burning bridges and all. You're just continuously eating, eating, and eating for what? Gluttonous. This is common sense. I don't even have to go too much into it. You can make the change. You just got to choose to do so. And First Corinthians says 3:16 to 17, know ye that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defiles the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which the temple are you. So which one are you? Are you controlling this temple and doing right by it? You only get one. Why would you keep destroying it, filling it with food? Especially a lot of stuff that's on the market today. A lot of that stuff is killing people. I myself, I've gained the weight over the years, and I'm in the process of making that change now as we speak. Exercising and eating right and not eating much. Watching myself. And you should do the same as well. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But we should strive for perfection, shouldn't we? Absolutely. Now, just a little note I threw in here. The men who commit these acts shall suffer, because man is the head and leader of woman. And man misleading women, but women are not excused for their part in this. It's man's job to lead women if they won't choose to be led. But women are not free for their partaking into this. Also, temperance, temperance cures gluttony by implementing the desire to be healthy. Once again, exercise, watching yourself, eating right, not eating much. Therefore, making one fit to serve others. If you're not fit, you can't serve others. You can't help other people if you can't help yourself. Ties in again. You can't help yourself, you can't help others. You become useless to help others. Number 3, greed. Greed is an excessive pursuit of material goods. Excessive pursuit of material goods. Now, if you're pursuing material goods for the benefit of others, that's one thing. But if you're looking at just to get it and store it up for yourself, just to look at it, and you got a house full of stuff that's just useless, what's the point? It's all gonna get old. It's gonna look trashy. And then you're gonna throw it out in the streets to hopefully somebody else picks it up for you. It's just a waste. Exodus 20:17 says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's." Now, if you see your neighbor with something, you don't know what that person did to get what he got or she has. They probably worked hard to get where they were or where they are. And you think you could just see it and expect that you deserve it too? No. You got to get your behind up and work for it. Nothing's given to you. Nobody's obligated to give you anything or hand you anything. You got to get your behind up and go work for what you want. Just like they worked and got what they have, you can do the same. You have to take the initiative and the steps to do it. Greed, seeing what others have and wanting it instead of going out and getting it for yourself. Like me, since I can remember, since I was young, I've always had that mindset. Like, oh wow, oh they got a nice car, man. I want one of those. I'm gonna get one too. That's what it's about. There's more than one of many things out there. There's more of many nice cars people like. There's plenty of them. Anyone can have. Any of us can have it. We just got to work for it or put some type of plan in place to be able to get it. Not in a bad way, but in a way where you don't have to feel any guilt about having it because you worked for it and you earned what you have. Also in Proverbs 28:25, it says, "He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat." Now, it goes back into what I was saying about gluttony. It doesn't mean fat like fat wise, body fat. It means that fat in finances, fat in things to help serve humanity and your family. There's many different ways you can look at the word fat, but it says the Lord shall be made. With the Lord you shall be made fat. 25:28. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. So you need to put that trust in your spirit, man. Ecclesiastes 5:10. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. The definition of vanity is inflated pride in oneself or one's appearance, conceited, empty, valueless. In other words, back in the days, silver was considered money. Silver is still considered money, but the so called dollars that we have in our pocket today is not considered money. it has value because people believe in it. People put their heart and minds and energy into it, so it has value. So you can exchange for it at this current time, but it's not real money. There's nowhere on that dollar bill that says it's money. Silver and gold is real money. Just throw that in there. 1 Timothy 6:9-10. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Once again, there's got to be a balance. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy, but what's the purpose of the wealth for? What are you just acquiring wealth just to have it sit there so you can look at it and swim in it like Scrooge McDuck? Like you just go in there, you're swimming your money? That's foolishness. Money that doesn't is not put in circulation and not in for use is just stagnant. It has no purpose. It's just sitting there just for you to look at. Money must continue to circulate for growth to happen. 1 Timothy 6-9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Be careful, people. Be very careful in how you move. For the love of money is the root of all evil. It says love of money. It doesn't say you can't acquire it, use it, and benefit yourself, your family, and others. That's what it's the purpose for. It's for it to be able to put to use, not sit on it. Now you can put aside for something for a rainy day, but you don't. There's no need to amass a large amount just to put to the side for what? It leads to destruction. Because I can tell you this: if people feel like you're hoarding and they know you got it and they don't got it, they're gonna come and get it. So don't hoard. Put it out there. It'll come back to you. As long as you keep putting it out, it's gonna always come back. That's the process of reaping and sowing. You reap what you sow. You'll always get it back. So there's no need to hoard it. Also, charity cures greed by putting the desire to help others above storing up treasures for oneself. Once again, what I just said. Instead of storing it up for yourself, give it to charity. People don't even understand that when you have a charity, by you continuously giving, when you actually file taxes for a corporation, for that matter, you get all that back. It comes back to you many folds. So you're able to continue that cycle of giving and receiving. That's what it's about. You can't, when we pass on, we can't take anything with us. Nothing. So all these people are amassing wealth just to store up for what? You can't even take it with you. You could pass it along, but then you can end up passing along to people who end up destroying it down the road because they didn't understand it. They didn't build it. They didn't work for it. They just got it. It was just handed to them. You think they would appreciate it? Nothing that's handed to someone just willingly, they will not appreciate it. Period. Well, I shouldn't say all, but most people won't appreciate something that's just handed to them, especially if it's handed to them on a consistent basis. Let's move on. Sloth. Sloth is an excessive laziness or the failure to act and utilize one's talents. Sloth, I'm going to read that one again. Sloth is an excessive laziness or the failure to act and utilize one's talents. We're given talents in this world. If we're not using our talents, we're being slothful. And Solomon speaks of sloth in Proverbs. It says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." The ants. Study how ants move, and you'll be able to understand the opposite of sloth. Because ants work, they store up. That way, for a period, they don't have to continually work all the time, all year round. They store it up for the time period, say for the winter, where they don't have the means to be able to operate, but they can sustain themselves through those cold times and prepare for the spring again to be able to begin working again. Just think about the ants. Study ants. You'll be able to learn a lot. People too busy following foolishness. Study some ants and you can learn something that's beneficial for your life. Proverbs 13:4. The soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Once again, not fat in weight, but fat in things, access to things, homes, cars, a nest egg for a rainy day. People do things that others can't do because you were diligent and not slothful. Once again, it ties in because it ties in with greed to a degree. You still want to, it doesn't mean you don't work and try to earn and build something for the future. But when is enough is enough? How much is enough? Everybody has a degree of what's enough is. But then at the end of the day, if you have a place, a roof over your head, you have clothing, you have food to eat, you have transportation to get around, you have something saved up, money saved up for a rainy day, you have your family, your friends, your spouse, your children. They don't have any want or need for anything. You guys could travel if you choose to. You can go to the store and buy things. You can really live and enjoy yourself and you can get these things on a consistent basis. What else is there in life besides love? Everything else is just excess. I mean, unless of course you have a great cause, that's a different story. You're gonna need to acquire more to be able to service others with it. But other than that, it's not necessary. You're gonna acquire a bunch of things just for yourself. That's foolish, and it definitely gonna lead to destruction. A righteous man has living. A wicked man is loathsome and come to shame. Righteousness keepeth that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. There is that maketh himself rich, yet has nothing. And there is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. There are those that make themselves poor and have great riches. So, in other words, you can't get it confused when you see someone looking like they're wealthy. They looking like they got the appearance of wealth and riches. They may have a lot of jewelry on, you know, they may have expensive clothing, expensive accessories, purses, things of that nature. and you think that that person is rich, but they could be poor. You shouldn't fall into that. Whereas you see a lot of people, I mean, this is not anything, this is nothing new. People know that a lot of wealthy people, millionaires, they walk around like regular looking people with a shirt on, or might have a nice button up shirt, you know, wearing a pair of jeans on. You know, I know a lot of wealthy people who wear New Balances. They don't wear Nikes or Jordans. You know, they wear New Balance. And but that bank account is looking good. But you're confused. You be like, that person ain't got no money because they don't have no jewelry. They may have a wedding band on with no jewelry. Might have a nice watch, something simple. But other than that, they're not flashy, but they are wealthy. So I'm gonna say that again. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. So don't get it confused. Don't get caught up in visuals and your eyes, because your eyes can deceive you. Something may look good on the outside, but it's not. Everything that glitters is not gold, y'all. Understand that. Proverbs 24 and 33, 34 says, "Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall the poverty come as one that traveleth, and they want as an armed man." Break that down for you. So, no, it's like an armed man running around trying to just rob people and take from others. Eventually, that person's going to get taken down. You're not going to be able to rob everybody because you're going to run into the wrong person and they might just knock your whole block off trying to rob them because they're prepared. You may get away with some people, or have done in the past, but you might run into that wrong one and get your whole thing knocked out of your head playing with the wrong person, and won't go to jail for it either. You won't even get arrested because you came with intentions to harm. It all ties in. Greed, sloth. Someone that's slothful, why wouldn't you want to go get it? The same effort you take to go grab a gun, cock it, load it, load the bullets, put it in, tuck it, and go somewhere and try to find people to rob that that may have it. The same effort you could take to come up with devise a plan to be able to get yourself some wealth and riches. It's here available for all of us to get. Why are we putting effort into negativity versus positivity? Laziness, that's why. Sloth, that's why. The seven deadly sins. It will kill you. You will die playing around. It's not a game. It's not a game out here. People take this for a game. It's not a game, y'all. Stop playing with your lives. Mess around, get your noodle knocked out of your head over some stupidness. Thinking you can run stuff, thinking you smarter than the creator, the most high. Are you slow? Do you really think you're smarter than the creator? I think not. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, so shall poverty come as one traveleth, and they want as an armed man. Keep playing around. See what happens. Second Thessalonians 3:10. Forever, when we were with you, this we commanded you, that in any would not work, neither shall he eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. Simple. If you don't put forth some type of effort to get something done, you don't eat. Create. We're creators in his likeness and image of God. So that means we're supposed to be creating our life accordingly. The scriptures teach that we're going to do greater things than Jesus did. If you read your Bible, you would know this. And we wouldn't be there would be no kind of a, what, did he hear what he said? Yeah, that's what the scriptures teach. If you read it, you know it. And we'd be on the same accord right now. Greater. He said we're going to be doing greater things. We're supposed to be doing greater things. Not trying to take and harm one another. Because, oh, I don't feel like doing something. Them feelings, man, once again, the feelings get you caught up and killed. Feelings get you hurt. Get caught up in your feelings. I think about that kid, King Von, running around trying to go fight. Those boys had guns. What are you, stupid? Many people made that mistake. If you have a weapon and someone pulls out a gun and you don't have one, you lost. Give it up. There's no need to fight. You will lose. You will lose your life. That's the smart thing to do. That way you'll be able to live to fight another day. Someone got a gun. Oh, okay, you got that. I don't got a gun right now. So you got that. Whatever it is, cool. But you live for another day to fight. Diligence or zeal cures slothfulness by placing the interests of others above life or ease and relaxation. I'm going to say that again. Diligence or zeal cures slothfulness. Diligence. That means getting to work, doing something, putting the plan together, creating what we're made to do, to be great. So be great. Don't let nobody tell you can't be great. If they tell you that you can't be great, I don't care who it is, your mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, cousin, get rid of them. Stay away from them because they don't have your best interest at heart. If they feel like that you can't do something or you feel like you can't do something or somebody's telling you you can't do something. Diligence or zeal cures slothfulness by placing the interests of others above life, of ease and relaxation. Stop thinking about yourself. It's not about you only. Yes, you got to look out for yourself because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. But once you take care of yourself, now it's your obligation to help others as well. Okay, I got a good amount for myself. I'm good when it comes down to a rainy day now. Let me show and help somebody else to reach that goal for their lives. Because they may not know that everybody needs help. Help someone beside yourself. Stop being selfish. Going into 5, wrath. This is a big one. A lot of people are dealing with this. Wrath is a strong anger and hate. I got emphasis on that. Towards another person. Why is there a strong anger and hate towards other people? Why? Once again, it all ties in. Sloth, greed, lust. Why do you hate someone? Because they have something you don't have? Because you don't want to work for it? You want to be lazy? You want to be a glutton? Huh? You want to be greedy? You want to be slothful? So that way you have wrath towards others, a strong anger and hate towards another person. The scriptures speak about wrath in Romans 12:19. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, says the Lord. Reaping and sowing. What goes around comes around. I don't have to do nothing to no one. Anyone that's done me wrong in the past, I know personally, I don't have to do anything because I got my spirits, my ancestor guides, the ascended masters, the Most High, Ra, etc., and many more that will handle that for me. The avenging angels will handle it for me. I don't have to do nothing. Just sit back and say, oh, wow, that happened to that person. Oh, wow, that happened to them. That was karma. That was what they reap, what they sow. That was the vengeance of the Lord back on them for the things that they did. You can't do something to people and don't expect some kind of consequence. Oh, I got away with that. No, you ain't getting away with nothing. Some way, shape, or form down the road, whether sooner or later, you're going to pay for it. There is something in nature called reaping and sowing. The seed you put in the ground will come back and spring up for you, whether you like it or not. If I plant seeds of fruits and vegetables, I'm going to yield fruits and vegetables for me to eat later on. If I'm walking around and I'm being humble and gentle with everyone that I deal with, regardless of how they treat me, I'm not going to stick around for it though. Regardless how they treat me, they're going to get that back also. It's inevitable. You will and must pay for everything that you've done, whether it's good or bad. So if you walk around sowing good, by all means, you got good coming to you. But if you walk around sowing bad and evil, that's what you're going to get back. Vengeance is the Lord's. So there's no need for any of us to do anything. I mean, of course, unless you just live the life that way, you can expect it to come back to you. Nothing good comes out of doing evil to others. Nothing. No profit in that at all. Just let it go and let my spirits handle it. They'll tear you up playing with me. They'll tear you apart. I just got to kick back and relax and just keep moving, keep building and growing. Psalms 37:8 says, cease from anger. I mean, stop. Stop your anger. Just cut it out now. So that way you can put out seeds for the future that'll better yourself. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Forsake it. Let it go. Stop it. Don't do it again. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Don't even think about doing evil. Don't even consider it. Somebody comes around you talking about let's go do this. It'll be easy. It'll be quick. Don't fall for it. Because a lot of times the ones that you following, you'll end up messed up worse than they have. Because they've been already into it. It has yet to catch up to them. You'll probably be the one to reap it up or reap that right away. Because you decide to change course. You decide to go do something that you know wasn't right, but then you said, let me go do it anyway because it'll be quick and easy. No, you'll probably end up going down before. How many times we've seen in the stories where the person who was worse brought somebody in who wasn't really that of a bad person, and the person that wasn't really that bad got it first. We've known many stories. Like I can think of Boys in the Hood. Cain wasn't really messed up at first. Old Dog was the one that was a terror in the neighborhood. He killing everything in sight. He the one that pulled Cain in, but who ended up dying first? Cain. We've seen it a lot. Probably other things I can think of, but right now I'm not on that. But anyone can. You probably already know something that happened in the past where the wrong person got caught up in something. Cease from anger, forsake wrath, fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. Humble. You're being humble, you will inherit the earth. This stuff is already yours. I remember in the scriptures in Job when Satan came and asked Job to run up on Job and do whatever he wanted to him. Gave him permission to do it. because he knew Job wasn't going to turn. He knew Job. And what ended up Job happening? Yeah, he lost his whole family, but he got another one. I'm sure he was grieving about his past, his family in the past. I'm sure it hurt him. I know how that feels. But he was given another one. And I'm sure he was happy again. Still thought about the old family, but he was happy. He got a new one. Proverbs 14 and 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy and rottenness, but envy is the rottenness of the bones. So when you envy someone, your bones are literally rotten from the inside out. Why are you envying someone? You were given the same brain and capacity to be able to do things that anyone else can do out there in the world. Why are you envying people? Stop. Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. A soft answer turns away wrath. So, I mean, someone could be talking real angry and tough. Then you say, you talk to them in normal tone. Yeah, this is, they have no choice but to turn like, oh, wait, this person's not even trying to combat with me. They really can't continue on unless they're foolish. Then you got to shut them down. You can't let no one just take advantage of you like that. But grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright. The mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. So if you can't verify somebody's saying, it's foolishness. It can't be backed up and verified and checked and proof checked, you know, qualified. It's foolishness. We're smart out there. We're not dumb. We may play dumb, but most of us are not dumb out here. Majority of us are not dumb. We know what's going on. We may play dumb, but that's where the foolishness comes in. It needs to stop because it's not getting you nowhere. You're not benefiting from being foolish. Ephesians 4:25 and 27 to 25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speaking every man truth with his neighbor. Speak the truth. Simple. If you know it's not the truth, don't say it. Don't repeat foolishness and lies. There's no benefit from it, not for you or anyone else. You're only destroying yourself and others. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil, your lower self. The devil is your lower self. You have your higher self and lower self. It's like that devil and angel on shoulders. You know that angel is telling you the right thing you're supposed to be doing, but you turn around and listen to that devil because the way it made it sound tempted, sound good. Foolishness. Colossians 3 and 8. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communications out of your mouth. There is no benefit from it, from these things. You're only harming yourself in the end. The enemy seeks to, whom he may devour and seeks to destroy. Patience cures wrath. Be patient. By one, first understanding the needs and desires of others before acting or speaking. You got to think before you speak. Use your mind. That's what he was given it to use, to be used. for the good. Envy is the intense desire to have an item that someone else possesses. Why are we envying? We all have the ability to get things, to get anything that was out here that's created. We're above these things. So that means we can get them. Why are we envying someone else who has those things that we may want? Work and go get it yourself. Put together a business plan and go get it. It's not hard. If you need help in that department, I can show you how to do some things, put some things together so you can get anything you want. It's not gonna make you happy, but hey, if you want it, you can get it. You can have it because it's there for us to have. Anything under the sky is here for us to have and use. Not people though. Proverbs 14 and 30. A sound heart is the life of the body, but envy is rottenness to the bone. Once again, rottens your bones from the inside out. You die from inside out because you're envious of what other people have. That's sickness. That's sickening. Psalms 3, 7, 1 through 2. Fret not thyself because of evildoers. Everything ties in. Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Iniquity is simply immoral or grossly unfair behavior, wickedness. For they shall be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herbs. You're going to get cut down. That envy will get you cut down. You're going to get envious and try to go do something to harm someone, and you run into the wrong person once again, like I said, and you'll get destroyed. You will get destroyed playing with the wrong people. Proverbs 24, 19 and 20. Fret not for thyself because of evildoers, neither be envious at the wicked. For they shall, for there shall be no reward to the evil men. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. If you're wicked, you're evil, your candle, your light's gonna get put out. Somebody can put your lights out. Your light's gonna get put out trying to be envious to other people. They probably won't even have to do anything. It'll just end up happening because it's a cycle. You reap what you sow. Everything ties in. Ecclesiastic 4 and 4. Again, I consider all trivial and every right work that for his, a man, I'm reading the King James Version. People probably wondering, what am I talking about? I'm reading the King James Version. You can read any version. I mentioned each scripture that I've been quoting ever since the beginning of this video. So you can go back and you can look at any version of the Bible and actually pull this out yourself. But I'm reading the King James Version. And every right work that for his, a man, is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Once again, you're going to get yourself vexed in vanity because you want somebody else's stuff. Vanity is excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance and or achievements. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got that. My house is bigger than your house. My car is nicer than your car. My girl looks better than your girl. I'm better than you. I'm better than him or her. It's just vanity, excessive pride. It all ties in to what I've been saying since the beginning of this video of one's own appearance and or achievements. Now, it's not saying not to go put yourself together and look presentable. But if you're sitting there, have a pride in it, it's vanity. Anybody can put themselves together and look decent and look good. Vexation, the state of being annoyed, frustrated, or worried. Needy. Stop being so needy. Stop looking for validation through other people. You should be able to validate yourself by your accomplishments. People that now realize people that are so needy is because they haven't really accomplished nothing. They have nothing to look forward to. They're trying to see what they can get from other people. Laziness, gluttonous, wrath, anger, stupidity, which leads to death. Ecclesiastes 4 and 5. The fool foldeth his hands together. Like I said, it all ties in. He foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. You're destroying yourself by your actions, your selfishness and greed. You're destroying yourself. Excuse me. You're destroying yourself with your greed. You're eating your own flesh from your envy. You're only destroying yourself. You're not destroying others. Because people are a reflection of you. Those are your brothers and sisters in God. We are the gods and goddesses of this earth. We're supposed to be helping one another, not destroying one another. Then you just got some people who just don't got common sense. They end up just destroying themselves and eating their own flesh from their own actions. Galatians 5:26. Let us not be desirous of vain glory. Glory in vain. Provoking one another, envying one another. Once again, ties all in. I don't got to go through much details on that. We've been explaining this for the past hour I've been on here. I'm thinking people getting the picture. Let's try to get through this. Galatians 5:26. Let not us be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. James 3:14-16. But if ye have bitter, envying, and strife, your hearts glory not and lie not against the truth. Don't lie against the truth. And you know if you're telling the truth or a lie. So stop it. You're going to get yourself hurt. The wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly. That's earthly stuff. It doesn't come from above. It's fleshly things. Sensual, devilish. It's devilish. Once again, the lower self. It's not from above. It's the lower self, not the higher self. It's this flesh. It's not the mind above, because this is great up here. Because with this, you can do anything. Applying this mind, you can do anything. Positive, of course. Pride. The last one is pride. Is an excessive view of oneself with regard for others. Once again, it ties all in. Can't make this stuff up. Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogance, the evil ways, and the forward mouth do I hate. You got to hate evil. Because it doesn't do anything for anyone. It doesn't benefit anyone to hate. Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goes before destruction. You prideful, believe what's next is destruction for you. Keep up that prideful. Keep up that pride. See what happens to you next. You're going to sit back and wondering why. Because you were too prideful. Or you didn't have enough sense to stop the foolishness. And a haughty spirit before a fall. Haughty spirit. That's self-explanatory. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoils with the proud. Once again, I can run around here and try to act like I'm big and bad. I can just rob everything in sight and act like it's not going to come back to me. And try to divide spoils of what I've taken or what people have taken from others based upon the 7 deadly sins. It's better to be humble in spirit. Because if you're humble, you can get downloads, you can get inspiration to create something and amass wealth that you ever never thought of, that you never even expected to happen. Like, whoa, look what I did. It's because you sat there, humbled yourself. And the spirit of the Most High gave you those downloads to be able to get things done and create something for yourself. Because He knows we have needs for certain things in this lifetime. He knows it. And He wants us to have it. But there has to be a balance with it. Galatians 6 and 3. For if a man thinketh himself he is something, when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Thinking you're something when you know you're not nothing. You know you're not doing anything, but you think you're doing something, but you're not. Running around here fronting, acting like you're doing something when you're not. Acting like you got a plan when you don't. Your plan is to try to take from other people to accumulate for yourself, which is selfishness. It's part of the 7 deadly sins, and you will get up hurt. You end up getting hurt and deceive yourself. It's destruction. Humility cures pride by removing one's ego and boastfulness, therefore allowing the attitude of service. We're here to serve one another, not take. If we all serve one another, we'll all have something. Some may have more than others because they put in more effort, but nonetheless, we'll all have something to look forward to. There's no need to be greedy. There's enough for all of us. This mindset of it's limited or there's not enough for all of us, that's bull. There is enough for us all. How can anyone that says that, you know that's not of God. You know that person has an issue, is devilish. For anybody to say that there's not enough on this planet to be able to sustain all these people is nonsense. It's just that people are bred with a mindset to take. People are bred with a mindset to want somebody to give them something instead of work for it and earn it. If you bust your hump for a couple of years and you do the right thing, you're doing the right thing, and you put a proper plan in place, you can reap from that for years to come. All this work till you're 60 years old, you don't have to. But if you're doing something you love, you're not working. Focus on doing something that you love. And I'm going to close out with this. 2 Timothy 3. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incompetent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such, turn away. Turn away from them. For of this sort are they with creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, away with drivers' lust, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. That's 2 Timothy and 3, 3 to 7. That's a bottom line textbook narcissist, a psychopath, a sociopath. We're noticing these terms recently. Personally, I didn't know of this until probably maybe about a year ago. I started to learn about this narcissist, and then I was able to apply it to the scriptures and see, whoa, this is what we're dealing in the end times with these type of people who partake in these 7 deadly sins on a consistent basis, whether they're doing it intentionally or not, but they're doing it, and they're harming other people in the process of the wake of what they're doing. Stay away from these people. You know them by their fruits, by the way they behave. They may be able to act at first and be able to cover it up and act a certain way and act like that's not how they are, but it slips. It has to slip. You'll notice it. You'll see those red flags in the way they behave. They'll go in and out of it because that's who they really are. Parents have bred these children to be succubus and incubus. That Delilah spirit that took out Samson and so many people in the Bible that took out these great men. It's that spirit is in men and women. A succubus and incubus spirit. Look it up. Succubus and incubus. We need to know what we're dealing with, people. If we don't say anything and speak up, these people are going to keep running around here destroying people's lives. They put on this mask, act like they're some sweet person, and they're not. They're evil. They want to destroy. They want to take you out in the process. They want to take what you got, take what's yours, and claim it for themselves. And then play the innocent role, like they had nothing to do with it or they don't know anything. I know a couple of myself, and they being dealt with. I don't have to do anything personally. I don't have to send anybody. They're just going to automatically be dealt with because there's certain people you just don't play with. Just try to get people to do what you want. You'll sit up there and lie to them, lie to their face, and be serious about lying. And you're only harming yourself at the end. only harming yourself. You're only destroying yourself in the end. Because I'm winning and I'm going to keep winning. I got some ancestors and bloodlines. Who? Baby. You don't want no parts of this, any way, shape, or form. Once again, this video was on the 7 deadly sins. And I ended it with some scripture about narcissism, psychopaths, sociopath. People, be careful. Men and women, be careful. There are people out there who don't mean you any good. They are preying on kind and good-hearted people for their selfish reasons. They don't want you to do certain things, but they run around and do the same things they don't want you to do behind your back and then play innocent. It's time out for that nonsense. Time for these people to go. Anyway, I was moved to do this today, 7 deadly sins, but people don't have direction in their life. People don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. I recommend everybody get a numerology report, an astrology report, one or the other or a combination of both. So that way you'll have some direction in your life and know what to do and how to move based upon your numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So knowing your numbers, your charts, your life number, your life path number, you're able to navigate this earth plane, know who to deal with and who not to deal with based on their numbers. Because there are certain people you can't roll with because you're not compatible. You're not a natural match. So you have to know your numbers so that way you can determine other people's numbers. And that way you'll be able to know if this person means you any good just based off the numbers. But then, of course, their attitude and their behaviors are going to tell you even more about them. Someone could have numbers that are common with you, but they could be in a time and a space in their life where they're not concerned about any of that. They're not even living according to where they're supposed to. So that person you need to eliminate out your life. Get yourself a reports. We offer them. So shoot me an email, get you taken care of, get you a report. Right now, there are free reports online where you don't have to pay anything, but those are basic reports. We offer complete reports and charts for astrology and numerology. Get yourself one. Thank you, YouTube. Peace.